Hey, it's Doug with Backcountry Pilgrim, and I am super excited to be making this video today because I got one of the coolest pieces of gear that I have ever been sent by a manufacturer. And it doesn't exactly have anything to do with hiking or backpacking, although it does have to do with camping and doing a little bit of bushcrafting, outdoorsman kind of stuff. It is my very first axe. This is Beavercraft's AX4 Universal Felling Axe. Now, I have done a video previously on one of Beavercraft's smaller hatchets, and when they asked me if I wanted to review any other piece of their gear, I knew immediately what I wanted. I wanted this to fulfill a bucket list item in my life, which was to chop down a tree. I know for many people chopping down a tree is just Tuesday, but for this city boy, born and raised in California, where it takes a ridiculous number of permits to be able to do practically anything outdoors, I have not had a lot of opportunities to cut down any trees. So I'm going to go over the AX4, tell you what my experiences were with it, and let you watch me cut down my very first tree. Now, before I even show you the axe, let me show you some of the accessories that come with it. First of all, you get this really nice leather mask. This is a well-crafted piece of material. It is one-handed operation if you want it to be, and they included at no extra charge. In addition to the mask, you get this sling, which lets you just throw it over your shoulder and carry it around like that. It slides back and forth, and it comes off very easily so that when you get to where you want to do some chopping, it isn't going to take you a whole lot of time to deal with it. Now, of course, once this mask comes off, the real beauty of the axe is on display. Look at this thing. Look how wicked that looks. Ah, just love it. You've got a 4.9-inch tall edge. It's got this very cool shaped beard on the head, which allows you to really choke up on this thing, use it for some close work, and it just looks wicked cool. Now, the AX4 overall is 25.2 inches. On me, that's basically exactly armpit to palm of my hand. Now, although you can use this thing one-handed, I would not recommend it. This is a solid 2-pound head. Much of that weight is in the cheeks, although you do have a pretty low-profile bit. So although the AX4 can split due to its weight, it's really not made to do so. This is a chopper. The axe is hand-forged from 1066 steel, with a 5658 Rockwell hardness rating. This is the same steel that they make their knives out of. It is a high carbon, harder bit axe made from a steel that I have read is easier to chip, but I beat this thing up pretty good and didn't have any problems with that. I love that the scale material is still visible on the sides. The AX4 is just a beautiful looking axe. Now, many of the reviewers that I read on this axe said that it was wicked sharp, razor sharp, etc. I did not find that to be the case out of the box with the AX4. Now, it was plenty sharp enough. I was even able to make little apple chips with it, which is not at all what it was made for. But kind of like the hatchet that I reviewed, it definitely didn't come out as sharp as I would have personally liked it. Good enough for the job, but I like blades to come out of the box truly razor sharp. Behind this double bearded bit, you have some very pointy little ears coming off the sides. They look really cool, however, they can cut into you a little bit if you're trying to grip the axe up high. The edges of this thing are not rounded, so I would recommend using gloves or taking a file to it if that's how you want to use it. This is an ash wood handle with a tight vertical grain parallel to the blade to help with impact resistance. The handle does not have a glossy coat, but it does seem to have been treated with linseed oil. On top there is a single brass wedge, which helps create a bit of a flare in the handle to keep the head on tight. The handle does have a pretty aggressive bump back here, which I find kind of digs right into my palm when I'm trying to hold it up high. If it was down a little bit lower, that would actually be better for me. At the bottom you have another one that you can barely see, but you can definitely feel it right as you get down toward the bottom. I find that that is less intrusive. That little palm swell gives a nice index point for the handle, so I didn't mind that one at all. The back of the head is flat, so it is good for using as a hammer. Okay, so now that you know the specs, what was my experience with this bad boy? I first located a burned out hardwood that gave me the opportunity to just swing the axe a bunch, test its bite, and see how comfortable it was for me to use. Now this particular stump was virtually buried in a very steep hill, so I wasn't going to be able to do a good clean cut anyway, so I just had some fun knocking chips off of it. The good news is I got the AX4 right on time for the National Forest Service to start releasing its Christmas tree cutting permits. Now the thing with the Christmas tree permits is that although the tree can be 20 feet high, it can't be any bigger than 6 inches in diameter, so I was not going to be doing battle with any kind of major trees. The AX4 performed very well. I didn't really have any trouble controlling it, and the tree went down. I also wanted to see how the AX4 would do up close for more bushcrafty type projects. So I spent a bit of time making a tent stake, saw what I could do making a feather stick. Of course, it's not going to be perfect for all jobs, no axe is, that's why they have mauls and hatchets and other things. However, if I could only have one woodworking blade with me out for several projects at a campground, the AX4 would definitely do the job. Alright, thank you guys so much for coming along with me as I cut down my first tree with an axe like a man. I hope that you enjoyed the video. If you did, why don't you give it a like and subscribe to Backcountry Pilgrim if you are into hiking, camping, backpacking, and the gear that goes with it. Until next time, as always, thanks for watching.